The next question
Mm-hmm.
in this is, do franchises and sponsors exert too much control over their relationship with a particular athlete? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, um, they do have a lot of control, and and to a certain extent, I understand where they're coming from because it's their money, it's their brand. They're paying this individual to promote their brand, but on the other hand, um, you got to be able to, if you're going to hire someone to promote your brand, before you hire that individual, you need to have some you need to have a checklist of things that you're going to ask that individual. Hey, these are
Okay.
these are our beliefs. What do you believe in?
So you're leading into something I'm thinking about. Maybe the manner and the terms of these sponsorships and contracts need another layer to them. Maybe there needs to be some consideration on, well, hey, before I sign this, let's make this understood that I feel a certain way about X, Y, and Z in
Yeah,
this world, and I'm going to speak out. So we can either partner on this,
yeah,
but you're not going to gag me,
mm-hmm,
and we can discuss this, the terms of this, before I sign and before you cut a check.
yeah,
Because the modern day athlete, not that um, Jim Brown and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't have this same dilemma, but it's a different time when you have social media, that you have instant access to the
mm-hmm,
world.
mm-hmm,
You didn't have to wait to be interviewed, and then when you were interviewed, then they could take the script and edit it out, and then occasionally, if you're live, you can say something and it reaches the masses.
mm-hmm,
But you don't need those channels to reach the world anymore. You can shoot it out in just a tweet. So to have that freedom
mm-hmm.
and to maintain it, I think the modern athlete, when they're negotiating and trying to be understood for who they are outside of just an athletic performance, I think these are like new age discussions that have to
Yeah.
to take place. So, um,
And I also think that it is the individual who, the interviewee, or I would say the employee, um, it's their responsibility too to ask those individuals. Okay, they need to say, hey, this is what I believe in. A lot of individuals don't come out and say that because they don't want to be um, denied whatever they're interviewing for, whatever
right,
position they're
right.
they're applying for.
The money's on the
The,
table. They try
they
to
want
close
that
it, and
money,
they want to close the deal.
but you have to be able to, as that individual, you should have your rights, but to a certain extent, if that employer is they're paying your check, that's your paycheck, that's where you get your bread and butter. You need to be able to sometimes, no, I would say not sometimes, all the time, you need to say, hey, this is this individual's beliefs, this is his company, his or her company. So I'm not going to devalue their beliefs or what they think may be right or wrong. At the end of the day, I'm here for a paycheck. I took this role, and I should play along with their game. I mean, it's not like you have to be there all the time. I mean, it's maybe I don't know how many hours you may have that you have to be there throughout the day if you have a job, or if you say you are a Curry and you sign with Under Armour and you have to be at that commercial shoot. You have to be there. Um, you need to do those things in order to get the money that you think that you're worth,
Mm-hmm.
or say you agreed upon. So when you make that agreement, then you need to say my values sometimes go out the window unless you see that it's going to belittle someone or make you uh, to come out as a negative individual.
So, the next question would be, and I'm putting some of this on the fans and the viewers,
Mm-hmm.
um, because maybe the line is blurred.
It is.
Can the viewer separate the job from the person? And what I'm saying is, in my opinion, it doesn't appear to be so. For instance, if I have a job doing X, when I get off that job, that has nothing to do with how I feel about life.
That's right.
And it's understood in normal, average people lives. Like, okay, he does X, Y, he's a pharmacist. But when he gets off, he does care about the tax code. He does care about whatever. And one doesn't negate the other to say that he can't feel a certain kind of way or she can't feel a certain kind of way. So has the fans, because it seems, the sponsors are always looking at money, and they're looking at what people that are buying their products, what they're going to feel. And it seems like they realize that that customers cannot separate a athletic performance, which is their job, from these are my personal feelings.
Yeah, and you're correct. And there's a few analogies that we could go with. Okay, one would be, look what happened to Ray Rice. Okay, just because that's a domestic issue, and granted, I don't condone what Ray Rice did, but would that hinder Ray Rice from running a 5-yard touchdown?
Yeah, well, no, but this is what I say to that one. I don't want to get way off.
Yeah,
but if it's my company and I have, core values, and I employ, women, and granted, people have domestic violence issues on regular jobs, and they don't get fired. That's right. But they weren't on TV, on camera either.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's most of the time in-house. The most you might see is somebody come to work with a black eye, or they're crying in the parking lot. You don't really know unless they tell you. So I think his situation was because of the type of job it is, because of the exposure that it has, and the evidence.
And cameras are everywhere.
And cameras are everywhere. So it's just like a normal job. You can have an opinion. Go on Facebook.
Do what you want.
But go on Facebook and say the wrong thing.
That's right.
And
that's the risk you take.
That's the risk you take. So I think, coming into this social media age, they're beginning to think like the world is wide open and Big Brother is always watching. Not only is Big Brother always watching, but you're helping them when you go live.
That's right.
And you tweet and you do all these things. So operating in the world now, you have to understand it's like in a sitcom. You have that fourth wall. You gotta understand it's all open now.
That's right.
So I think it's a hard lesson.
It is,
but it's always going to be a few casualties until people really adjust and understand.
This new age era is different. It's different.
It's different.
And there's two other scenarios you can look at and say, hey, the social media age is really different than, I would say, the 80s, early 90s. Our age
very
is
different, because
look at this. The mess that O.J. Simpson got into with when he was allegedly, I guess, he wasn't convicted, but he was allegedly being charged of murdering his ex-wife and her boyfriend. Okay, O.J.'s a Heisman Trophy winner, right?
Right.
They didn't snatch his Heisman, did they?
No.
Okay. Reggie Bush.
I think O.J. was so far removed from his Heisman.
But
that's the only thing, and I get
they didn't take it.
Yeah, but Reggie Bush
took a little money. Didn't murder. Wasn't accused of murdering anybody.
Yeah, but it directly affected the school. And I'm not saying one is right than the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Reggie Bush, he directly tied his thing was directly tied to the school.
But it was how many years?
Nah, but okay.
I know what you're saying.
You went to Fayetteville State.
Yeah.
If you go out here and smack Jeffro in his mouth, it's not a direct reflection on Fayetteville State.
But cutting somebody's head off.
But what I'm saying, no one is going to say, you know what? I'm not sending my kid there because he had to learn how to do that at Fayetteville State on the yard. But if you had did some stuff that was directly tied in, then it might look like what's going on at that school. So I think it's I think it's a little different, but
But I'm just talking about the difference in the generations.
no,
Just, it's
and I'm gonna tell you something else. Stop that.